Welcome back, foolish mortals, for another Oldie but Goodie episode of the Disney Life Happy Wife podcast. Today we're going to be listening to episode number 4, which I had said, I think, at the beginning of the last episode that, you could tell how many years it's been. I really focused and paid attention to how many years it's been. Episode number 4 came out in 2019. So it's been about 5 years since this episode came out. So it's really an oldie but goodie, I guess. So in episode 4, I am talking about Walt Disney World. We have a trip coming up that we were really excited about. It was coming up in like January, February. We were a few months out. So we were really excited about it, talking a little bit about that. And it seemed at the time talking about that with my daughter, and she asked me the question, what are my favorite things at Disney? So the episode is all about that. Episode number 4 is about some of my favorite things at Walt Disney World. So definitely take a listen and let me know what you think. Feel free to shoot me a DM on Facebook or Instagram at Disney Life Happy Wife Podcast. Shoot me an email at dlhwpodcast@gmail.com. I'd love to know what some of your favorite things are. If you're following along with us on Instagram or Facebook, you can leave me a comment there as well. I'll put up a video. I'll put up a post or a story letting you know that the episode is out. So you can leave me a comment there as well if you would like. So take a listen and let me know what some of your favorite things are in Walt Disney World. And like always, folks, I am so thankful that you're listening to this episode, and we'll have brand new episodes of the Disney Life Happy Wife podcast coming to you by the end of the summer. But I hope you sit back and enjoy some of our oldie but goodie episodes, and I will see you real soon.
Welcome, foolish mortals. There's no turning back now.
Welcome, everybody. Hope you guys are having a great week. I know that I am. Welcome to episode 4 of the Disney Life Happy Wife podcast. I'm Kristen, your host. For me, if it's a Disney life, then I'm a happy wife. So I am so excited that we are already up to episode 4 of this podcast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in with me and listening to me talk about all things Disney. It's, definitely one of my biggest passions is Disney and Disney World and all of that kind of stuff. Everything Disney, is a passion of mine. So thank you for tuning in and listening to me talk about all things Disney. Like I said, on today's episode, I'm going to bring it back to Walt Disney World. I know we talked about it a little bit in the first episode. We talked about it all throughout the second episode. And then last week, we talked about Disney movies. Well, I'm going to take it back to Disney World because it's, a big part of what makes Disney Disney. And I'm going to go back there because something happened this past week that made me want to talk about it. So Emily and I were talking about our upcoming Disney trip. We go to Disney in February of 2020. We usually like to go end of January, beginning of February. The weather is really great, especially when you live in Rhode Island and it's, you're knee-deep in snow, and you can head down to Florida, and it's nice and sunny, and it's pretty warm, and it's great. So we're heading back down there in February, and Emily and I were talking in the car the other day about it, and she was asking me, when are we going? And I said February. And she said, no, Mommy, how many? And she didn't specify how many was. So I said, about 5 months, give or take a few days. And she says, no, Mommy, how many days? Okay, well, now there's clarification. So I said, at that point, it was 140-ish days. As of today, it is 138 days. I don't know why, but for some reason, after you bridge that after 10-day mark, you go from 150 to 140, 140 down, it seems to make it that much closer. I don't know why. But as of today, we are 138 days until our trip. It cannot come fast enough. We are all looking forward to this trip so much. My husband usually only gets one vacation a year. So this is his big vacation. We are very much looking forward to it, staying at the Wilderness Lodge. So she and I were talking about it. she got the answer she was looking for. And then we started to talk about what we were going to do first. And I said, well, Em, what would you like to do first? And she said that the very first thing she wanted to do when we got to Disney World was go to the Enchanted Tiki Room. Okay, let's just pause and take that in for a minute. My almost 5-year-old said she wanted to go to the Enchanted Tiki Room. I think we've been to that attraction once in the, however many times she's gone. So I was kind of taken aback by it. I was like, what? You want to go to the Enchanted Tiki Room? Now, I love the Enchanted Tiki Room, so I think that might be why she said it. But I was kind of like, why does she want to go? So I was like, okay, that's cool. But I explained to her the way that we kind of scheduled out our trip. I'm a big scheduler. So the first day that we go, we won't get there until late morning. So, we're going to hang around our resort for the day. So we'll get there, we'll check in, we'll walk around. We have lunch reservations over at the Polynesian. We're staying at the Wilderness Lodge, so we'll take the boat over to the Polynesian and we'll have lunch at Kona, which my husband and I are very excited about. The lunch menu looks so great. We've been there for breakfast and I wasn't thrilled about the breakfast, so I'm looking forward to trying it again for a different meal. And then we'll walk around the Poly for a little bit, and Mama's got to get her Dole Whip, so I'm looking forward to stopping at Dole Whip on my very first day. And then we'll head back to Wilderness Lodge, check it out some more, take in as much as we can before we have dinner at Artist Point with Snow White. So Emma's very much looking forward to that. So I explained that to her. That's what our first day is going to be. And I said to her, day 2. Our second day there, we'll have dinner with Snow White, we'll go to bed, and then day 2 starts. And it's our very first full day in Disney World. So our first full day, we're going to be in Magic Kingdom after we have breakfast at Grand Floridian. So we'll take the boat over, go to Grand Floridian for breakfast, and then take the monorail over to Magic Kingdom. After that, I said the first thing that we can do is go to the Enchanted Tiki Room. She was so excited. So, honey, if you're listening, I'm sorry. This is to my husband. Honey, I'm sorry that, our first thing is going to have to be the Enchanted Tiki Room. So sorry about that, babe. So I told her we could do that first. She was all excited. I love the old attraction. It definitely brings back nostalgia from when I was a little girl. So I'm all for that. And I told her, it's in Adventureland. So there's so much more to do right around there that we are all very excited about that. So we'll go to the Enchanted Tiki Room. Em can go on magic carpets with my husband. And while they're doing that, Mama's going to stand in line for some more Dole Whip. And then we can meet Princess Jasmine, which is at the top of her list. She said the first princess she wants to meet is Princess Jasmine. Now, I know that we are going to have dinner with Snow White the night before, which I explained to her, you're going to see Snow White. But besides that, she wants the first princess for her to meet, first full day, first princess to be Princess Jasmine. She's such a huge fan of Aladdin right now, so I definitely want to make that happen for her. So I said to her, Enchanted Tiki Room, magic carpets, Princess Jasmine. We can go on a jungle cruise, which she loves that ride, so I'm all about making that happen. So she loved that idea. And of course, more Dole Whip is always good for me. So we're having this conversation about how our trip is going to start, and then she poses a question, which is what our show is based on for today. She poses a question to me. She says, Mommy, what's your favorite thing at Disney? And I sat there and thought, and I mean, as long as, a 4-year-old would let me, take a pause to think, I said, I don't know, Em. That's a really hard question. It's a really great question. It really makes you sit there and think, what is your favorite thing about Disney World? And, whether you've been to Disneyland, Disney World, Disneyland Paris, Tokyo, Shanghai, any of the Disneyland parks, Disney parks, what is your favorite thing about Disney? So I literally, for the past, week to 5 days, 4 days, when she asked me, what is my favorite thing about Disney? So I sat there and I thought about it. And how do you answer that? Like, it's so tough. How do you pick just one thing? So I turned their question around on her and I said, Em, what's your favorite thing about Disney? So she immediately launches into all of her favorite things, mostly rides. And she's talking about, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, the Teacups, all of these great rides that she loves. And then she says, I think my favorite thing in Disney is going to be riding Splash Mountain with Daddy. My husband will be so thrilled to hear that because Splash Mountain is his favorite ride. And I can't really do flume rides. I don't like the feeling of, as I say, my stomach up in my throat. I don't like that feeling. I don't like the catch my breath feeling. I just don't. I'm not a huge fan. So I don't ride Splash Mountain. And I told her, I was like, you're going to ride it with Daddy. Mommy will be there at the bottom waving her hands at you as you come down. I'll be so excited to see the pictures of you guys. But that's going to be a you and Daddy ride. So she's very excited about it. She's pretty much tall enough, I think. I'd have to double check with my husband to ride the ride. So we're excited for her to have that new experience. It really made me smile when we were sitting in the car talking about Disney to hear what her favorite things were. But as she's talking, I'm sitting there thinking, what is mine? What is my favorite thing about Disney? Now, in episode 2, I talked about my favorite ride, my favorite non-ride attraction, and my favorite restaurant in each of the 4 Walt Disney World parks. So I'm going to start off by saying that my all-time favorite ride at Walt Disney World is Toy Story Midway Mania. It's just a great ride all around. I love it, and it's just my number one favorite ride. So with talking about, my favorite things at Disney, Let's think about old rides, old classics. I've been going to Disney World. I think I went for the first time when I was maybe 6, 7, 8 years old, around there. And if you were to ask my aunt what my favorite old ride would be, and she very bravely took my twin sister and I to Disney once. I know my mom went, my parents took us, but if you were to ask her, she'd say our favorite ride, or my favorite ride, was the Teacups or the Mad Hatter's Tea Party. That is no longer my favorite ride. It was my favorite as a kid. I loved spinning as fast as I could, and it was great. I understand why Em loves it because I loved it, but I can no longer ride that ride. It now makes me sick. So we're not going there. But there are a lot of great rides that they unfortunately got rid of or replaced. So now with the limited amount of classic rides that I ride, my favorite, and I know I talked about Haunted Mansion in episode 2, but my favorite besides that is Peter Pan. Peter Pan's Flight is a classic ride, and it's so fun. You're riding in this little pirate ship going through the story of Peter Pan, and it's great. It's kind of a darkish ride, and things are, black lighted and different painting and stuff like that, and it's great. I love it. I love Peter Pan. Tinkerbell is one of my all-time favorite characters, so I love, the story of Peter Pan, and Emily loves Peter Pan, so it's great to sit there with her, and it's great to go through that and see that with her. And we always point out the mermaid that looks like Ariel, and we point out Crocky the crocodile, because if you've watched the Fairies movies, you know that crocodile is named Crocky and his mother is Rosetta. So anyway, but Peter Pan is my favorite classic Disney ride. So if you want a great, slow moving classic ride, you can't get any better than Peter Pan's Flight. It's just so great, and it just brings back so many great memories from childhood. So going from there, I'm getting a little hungry. How about a snack? There's so many great Disney snacks. There's just such a great variety to choose from. Churros, Mickey pretzels, popcorn, ice cream, so many different kinds of sweets, turkey legs, Mickey ice cream bars. You name it, Disney's got it. So what is my favorite? Well, I've already mentioned it a few times. So if you've been listening, I think you know what my favorite Disney snack is, my favorite Disney treat, Disney snack, my favorite of all time. And it's only been since we started taking Emily that it really became my favorite. My favorite Disney snack of all time, favorite one, is Dole Whip. And I love Dole Whip. I think it is a great treat. And I get it as often as I can. I get it every trip that we go to. The fact that you can actually use mobile ordering now to get it is so great. I'm definitely going to be doing that because it cuts down on the line. If you're over in Adventureland and you're standing in that line, you totally understand. You totally understand how long the wait is and how mobile ordering definitely helps with that. So Dole Whip is totally my favorite. I personally like the Dole Whip twist. It is pineapple Dole Whip twisted with vanilla soft serve. I think it cuts down on the tart pineapple taste a bit because that can get a little bit tart. So it kind of mutes that without taking away the flavor. So I love it. So I highly recommend going to Disney World and getting the Dole Whip twist. Now, if you're still hungry, let's talk about some quick service places. In episode 2, I'm going to keep referencing it, sorry. In episode 2, I talked about some of my favorite table service restaurants in the parks. So now I'm going to talk about what is my number one favorite quick service. Now, there are so many. Just like with snacks, there's so much variety in quick service. So much to choose from. Like if you go to Epcot, the choices are never ending. I mean, you can eat your way around the world. And I think my husband and I tried to do that on our honeymoon. We were not quite so successful. I don't even remember how many countries we actually made it through. Stopped and got a little bit of something from all of them. We made the mistake of getting, I think we each got a meal in Mexico to start it off. And then we were like, oh my gosh, so full by the time I think we got to America. So, and there were some places where he would try something and I wouldn't and all that. So Epcot is never ending. You go to the Magic Kingdom. They have such great places. Pecos Bill, Pinocchio Village House. You can even do, they technically call it a quick serve for breakfast and lunch at Be Our Guest. I personally don't think of Be Our Guest as a quick service, but they like to say that it is. I don't personally like to think it is. But we've never actually done quick service at Hollywood Studios. So I would definitely be interested to see some of the great selections there. We usually always have dining reservations when we go there. So unfortunately, we haven't tried there. But my favorite quick service is located in the Animal Kingdom. And if you're a big fan of the quick service places in Animal Kingdom, you probably know which one I'm going to talk about. It is the Flame Tree Barbecue in Animal Kingdom. It is by far one of the best places. You want some barbecue while you're in the Disney parks, head right over to Flame Tree. It is the best. And I rave about their pulled pork fries. So you get a bed of French fries, pulled pork on top, and a little bit of cheese. It is so good. I love French fries and pulled pork. And of course, if you add some cheese on it, I mean, how do you beat that? So good. You have to go try it. It is one of the best. If you've never tried it, go try it. Go try it on your next trip. It counts as a snack credit. So go get it. Good. There's no excuse. You know, if you're doing a Disney dining plan, that's a snack credit right there. Go get it. And you can have that and a drink, and that's a meal. In my opinion, that is a meal, hands down. So go try that. I highly, highly recommend it. Next, you know, my belly's full. I'm not sure that I necessarily want to go on a ride yet. So how about we go meet some characters? So like all the amazing snacks and the amazing quick service, there are so many meet and greets, tons of meet and greets throughout all of the parks. You know, a lot of the time now you have to go and stand in line in Walt Disney World and wait to meet one of the characters. Back in the day, I'm going to throw it way back there. You know, when I was a little kid, you could walk around and there were characters walking around and you could just walk up to them. And it was great. And I understand why they, you know, made them stationary and you have to go wait. I get it. Trust me. I know at Disneyland, they still have characters that walk around that you can walk up to. And I know it gets a little chaotic around them and everything, but I love meeting characters, especially for my daughter now, seeing the way that she is with characters. It's just so great. I love it. So there are standalone ones, you know, that are stationed. You can definitely meet characters at restaurants. A lot of them are character dining, which we do a lot. It's a great way to meet characters where you're not standing in line. And there are also special events like the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party and Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, where they have special characters that you can meet. I know the last party we went to was the Christmas party, and we got to meet Moana. It was great. We stood in line for an hour and a half to meet Moana, and it took up a lot of time. So we decided that the next party we go to, we are not going to do that. I may run over to stand in line and meet Jack Skellington, depending on what party we go to, and get my picture with him, whether it's just him dressed as Santa Claus or whether it's him and Sally. I may do that myself just because I'm a huge Nightmare Before Christmas fan, but I still haven't met him yet. It's a goal to go to one of the parties and meet him, but the parties are a great way to meet special characters. I know they do at the Christmas party. They have an area where you can meet all 7 dwarfs at the same time. How awesome is that? We also got to meet at one party all of the princesses that they had stationed. We met them with their princes. So that was really cool. Wherever we had a princess, there was a prince there with them. I got to meet Ariel and Eric. We got to meet Rapunzel and Flynn, Tiana and Naveen. And it was awesome. I think the best one that we met there, I mean, if you ask different people, my favorite was obviously meeting Ariel and Eric. The Little Mermaid is my favorite. So I loved that. So if I have to say what my favorite meet and greet is, though, it is back at the Magic Kingdom. So the Magic Kingdom has a lot of great meet and greets. They have Tinkerbell located in Main Street, USA, that you can go meet her. She's awesome. I love her. She's one of my favorite characters. They have Mickey and Minnie. It used to be Talking Mickey, and he was great. We loved him. And my daughter was a little nervous to meet him the first time we met him. And he pointed out her sneakers and he says, "Oh, I bet you can bounce really high like Tigger with those." And she and Mickey were bouncing together. It was amazing. I loved it. But my favorite of all, my favorite meet and greet, so we'll get back to that. My favorite meet and greet of all is one time that we met Ariel in her grotto. So you can meet Ariel as Princess Ariel, human Princess Ariel, walking around, at different restaurants. We've met her stationed with Prince Eric at a party, but there's one spot in the Magic Kingdom where you can meet Ariel in her grotto as Mermaid Ariel. And I love meeting Mermaid Ariel. I think it's so great that they do that they represent that part of her, where they have so much of her as a human. And, she is human for quite a bit of the movie, but she's a mermaid. The movie is The Little Mermaid. So I like that they have her by the Under the Sea Little Mermaid ride. Right next door is Ariel's grotto, and you can go meet Ariel as Mermaid Ariel. Mermaid Ariel. So when we met her once, I don't know if it was the last time we met her or the time before that. It's been a few. I had just freshly had my hair done before our trip. It was red and it was beautiful. I love it. And I had just had my hair done, and Ariel says to me, she says, "Oh my goodness," she's like, "you and I have the same hair. You must be part mermaid." And all I could think inside was, "Yes, Ariel, I am part mermaid. That's right. My red hair shows that I am part mermaid." I was so excited that she said that to me. Well, immediately, Emily shuts her down. She's like, "No, she's not." She was so serious about it, and Ariel and I just laughed. It was so great. So when Em sat next to Ariel was so great with her, and Emily had just seen the second Little Mermaid movie, which has Ariel and Eric's daughter Melody in it. So Emily sits down next to her and asks her, "Ariel, where's Melody?" And my husband and I just looked at each other, and then we looked at her like, what is she going to tell her? And she had the best response I have ever heard. She was so great. She was right there on top of it. I thought it was perfect. She immediately had an answer. I think she told her that she was back home with Prince Eric taking care of Max or something. I couldn't remember exactly what it was, but it was perfect. It was the perfect response. And Em was satisfied. My husband and I thought that was perfect. So I love meeting Mermaid Ariel. She's wonderful. So for those of you who don't know, besides meet and greets and getting, autographs and pictures and that kind of stuff with the meet and greets, another big thing that you can do that you can collect is souvenirs. A lot of people that go to Disney love to collect souvenirs. And I'm a souvenir collector. Like I love, there are certain things that I get every single time. I always get a Disney mug. I always pick a pearl from Japan in Epcot. I always get myself a new pair of Minnie Mouse ears. I also get myself a new sweatshirt every time that I go. It's so great. There's so many things to choose from. And we also actually started getting Disney board games the last time we were there. We got a couple last time, and we decided that every time we go, we are going to get a new one. We also get Disney pencil sketches in a lot of the art places, that stores that they have in the Disney parks. There's one in Magic Kingdom, and there's one in Disney Springs. You can buy some great pencil sketches of the characters. In our house right now, our first one, I think we got Tiana. Emily was obsessed with Princess and the Frog at the time. Then we have Anna, and we have, my husband found one special for me. It was always in a frame. It was already in a frame, not always. It was already in a frame. And it is a Prince Eric with Princess Ariel, but she's a mermaid. So it's Eric with Mermaid Ariel, and they're hugging. It's very sweet and very cute. I loved it. It was a surprise for me. It just warmed my heart to see it. We just love those. So we're going to do a wall of those. And so those are the three we have now. So those are the things that we collect. I collect mugs, pearls, sweatshirts, mini ears, board games, and usually I'll throw in something else, something random from when we're there. I know, last time I got a Jack Skellington Mickey and a Sally Minnie because I love Nightmare Before Christmas, and to have Mickey and Minnie represent those two characters was just awesome. So I got that. Who knows what I'll get the next time? I'll get my core ones, but I'll, branch off there too. So what is my favorite Disney souvenir? That's so hard. Out of all of them, I think I have to say, as I'm looking right now at my coffee in one of my Disney souvenirs, my very first Disney mug that I got from my husband and my daughter. It's an Irish mug from Raglan Road, and it says Mother on it, so I'm looking at it right now. My favorite Disney souvenir has to be the Disney mugs. There's so many to choose from, and there's like walls of them in every Disney gift shop. Every gift shop in every resort has mugs. Every main gift shop in the Disney parks has mugs. It's amazing. There's so many to choose from. I know the last time I got a Jack Skellington one, and I got a Little Mermaid one that I had my eye on the trip before. And to see that they had it, my husband was like, you have to get both. You love Jack, but who knows if they'll have this Ariel one the next time you come down. So I was sold. Had to get it. My favorite souvenir is mugs. So let's see. I've thrown a lot out there at you. So my favorite classic ride is Peter Pan. My favorite snack is Dole Whip. My favorite quick service is Flame Tree. My favorite souvenir is Disney mugs. And my favorite meet and greet is Mermaid Ariel in her grotto at Magic Kingdom. That's a lot. Oh my gosh. Holy moly. I threw so much out at you guys. I'm sorry. It's a lot. But like I said, how do you pick one thing? How do you pick one thing? Well, I'm going to do it. I'm going to pick my absolute favorite thing about Disney. My favorite number one thing about Disney. And it's not something you can buy. And if you're a Disney fan, you know what I'm going to tell you right now. You know it. You know what your favorite thing about Disney is if you're a true Disney fan. My favorite thing about Disney is the feeling, the Disney feeling that you get. You walk into Magic Kingdom. You walk through the main gates. You walk into Main Street, USA. You walk around and you head down Main Street and you look up and you see Cinderella's castle. There was no feeling like that. Just the way that your heart speeds up and your pulse races and the excitement. Some people cry. I smile. I just look at it and smile and think, I'm home. And a lot of people will say that Disney is home. And some people don't like that because they're like, it's not really your home. But that's the feeling you get. And that's the feeling I get when I'm at Disney. I'm home. That is my happy place. Disney World is my happy place. So to walk in and walk down Main Street, USA, and look up at Cinderella's castle, there's no feeling like that. To watch the parade, there's nothing like that. To watch the fireworks, there's nothing like that. There's no fireworks better than Disney World fireworks. I'm sorry. There's no fireworks better than that. And it's just the feeling you get walking around. The cast members who are always smiling and friendly, the smells, the sights, it's everything. It's just the feeling you get when you're at Disney. There's nothing that beats that. And it's not just Magic Kingdom. I'll say that. It's not just Magic Kingdom. You walk into Epcot and you see Spaceship Earth. You get the same feeling, the same warm and amazing feeling, and you smile. You walk into Animal Kingdom and you see the Tree of Life. There's nothing like that. And Hollywood Studios, you walk in, it's just amazing. Just the feeling you get. The sights, the sounds, the smells, the feeling. It's the Disney feeling. The love that I have for Disney and the feeling that I get when I see anything Disney, walk into those parks, and that's it. That is my absolute favorite thing about Disney is the Disney feeling. The feeling I get when I walk into a Disney park. That's it. So you want to know my favorite thing about Disney? If you're listening, everybody who's listening, what is my number one favorite thing about Disney? It's the Disney feeling. So that's it for me for this week, folks. I hope you enjoyed listening to my favorite things about Disney. I want to know what your favorite things about Disney are. So head on over to wherever you can follow me or contact me. My email is podcast@manysidesofmom.com. Head over there and email me and let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about today's show and let me know what your favorite things about Disney are. You can also message me on my blog, The Many Sides of Mom, so manysidesofmom.com, and head over to Instagram and Facebook. We are at Disney Life Happy Wife Podcast on both. DM me on either of those and let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about here. Also, where can you listen? You can listen to me on the blog, The Many Sides of Mom, so manysidesofmom.com. I have heard that it's a little soft through the blog, so I'm going to have to go and tweak it a little bit, but you can definitely listen there. You can listen to me on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and now iHeartRadio. So many different places to listen to this podcast. Head on over there and listen. Subscribe. Follow us wherever you listen. Follow, please. I would love that. And also write a review. I got my first review. It was a 5-star review. Thank you to whoever reviewed this podcast. I can't even believe it. 5 stars and a glowing recommendation review. I'm so thankful. Whoever reviewed us, thank you. I can't say thank you enough. I'm just in awe. Thank you so much for reviewing us. And head on over, follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Subscribe to the blog. You'll get more info from there, plus, whatever you get from the blog as well. And follow us on any place that you can listen. And write us a review, If you have questions, comments, concerns, if there's something that you want me to talk about on this podcast, wherever you can follow me, send me a message and let me know. Okay? Well, thank you guys so much for listening. I appreciate it. You taking the time out to come listen to me, Kristen, talk about all things Disney. Because like I said, for me, if it's a Disney life, then I am a happy wife. I will see you guys next Wednesday. Have a magical rest of your week.